And the Tigers have got some issues on and off the field.
Yeah, it felt like an end of an era, didn't it, on Friday night, watching this Richmond team, and as undisciplined and as many errors that they have made. And I know we've spoken a lot about the off-season moves that they made, but it really did feel like a coach who has had so much success that wanted to stay up. And it gets worse. Well, it gets worse by the week, Hutchie, because right now Richmond are in the bottom 4, and that future pick for Jacob Hopper is now 4, plus the other 3 picks you've given up for Taranto and Hopper over the next couple of years, plus the 7-year deals, each on massive money, and also the lack of opportunity that others are getting in the midfield, because those two are in there. And Lordo, I've been strong on this. They're not having the impact that Richmond thought they would. Granted, it's 5 rounds, but a coach having a lot of influence over list management decisions sometimes doesn't work.
Yeah, sometimes you just think you're closer than you are. And Richmond obviously thought, OK, we've got one last crack at it. Cochin 1 more year. Revolt 1 more year. Tommy Lynch still going OK. Let's throw Hopper and Taranto into the mix. And unfortunately, they're just too far off.
And you think, Caro, they're falling into the Clarkson trap?
Well, I wrote this a couple of years ago. I wouldn't like to see Damien Hardwick stick around too long and make the mistakes that Alistair did. Well, that's the question, isn't it? I mean, we've got a CEO at the Crossroads still in for the AFL job. We've got a new president at the footy club. There might be changes in the footy department as well. Damien Hardwick has a lot of thinking to do, because he is a great coach and he'll be a great coach at another club. But Lee Matthews said the other day on radio that he thinks 10 years, by his reckoning, is enough. And that's interesting to me. You've seen Damien Hardwick really change his behaviour in the last few weeks.
And potentially Port's there, right? And I'd be interested to get your view on this, because if Ken Hinkley leaves and the Gold Coast Suns is the other place where many link Ken Hinkley to, is Hardwick the type of candidate they would go for at Port? And then Brendan Gale, the other one, if he misses the AFL job, surely Tasmania will be all over him to be the inaugural CEO and to set the club up. So that's the other thing with both of those key roles. They're going to have other opportunities.
A lot of dominoes have got to fall, but I believe Stuart Dew won't be coaching the Gold Coast Suns next year. So that will certainly be a big... And we don't know that Ken's leaving Port.
To Kane, what do you think about
Well, I just think if you're going to move on from a really good coach, and Damien Hardwick is a great coach, and Ken Hinkley has been a very good coach, you want to make sure the person who takes your job is very good and better. So I hear the talk about, a Josh Carr or an untried coach taking over from Ken Hinkley. You'd want to be certain that they're the better option. And the same, you would think Richmond are having that conversation, Lordo, with Hardwick. You want a good one to replace him. Yeah,
and they just might want a fresh voice as well. But as you said, it's good luck trying to fill Hardwick's shoes. But just what's going wrong, he spoke of discipline, Hardwick. But here's some of the moments on field which are a real concern for them. So this is Camden McIntosh. That's just a horrible moment when you're down by 2 goals. That's just unforgivable. This one I understand. The first, you try and sock it off the ground. But then retaliation, not good from Bolton. You see the frustration. And I've got this guy on my sights, Marlion Pickett. So for every moment he does like this, where he tries to act the bravado tough guy, he does that. But then moments later, when you've got to put your head over the ball, he does that. But then moments later, bang, crashes into the back of a player. So they're the things that I think Damien is talking now, that when you're winning, you cover over a lot of those things like they have for years, but not anymore.
Damien Hardwick was asked about that today by Footy Classified.
Marlon's one guy we can sort of isolate, but Marlon plays the game on the way he plays. He's tough, he's hard. Sometimes he oversteps the mark and we've just got to wheel him back a little bit, and that's the reality of the game. Those sort of players, you don't want to wind them back too much, because otherwise they're not half the player they want to be. So we'll work with it, we'll get better. End of the day, it probably flows a little bit from my energy trying to get them up and about as well. So we'll all take responsibility and we'll work on it.
Well done to Xander Maguire for that interview. It was really good to see the coach taking responsibility.